Hi folks, it's Kitty again, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about pusher wheels on a skate setup. I think it's a good thing to talk about for where I'm at in level 1 Sheroes with Belfast Roller Derby at the moment, because we've started to skate the diamond, so we're going around corners, and that's the point where people start to realise that their setup with their wheels, which is usually a starter pack setup, isn't really working for them. It's too slippery, and when they're trying to cut into corners or skate out of them, they're finding their wheels sliding from underneath them, which makes them not want to go fast, not want to do crossovers, not want to skate the diamond, and overall not have a good experience on track. So one easy way of solving that problem is to do what's called a pusher setup. Now, in the box below, I will put into the comments a link to different setups you can use with wheels. There's all sorts of different setups. People find different things work for them. To be perfectly honest, for me, what I found is a straight up, all wheels the same setup is best. Partly because if I'm skating anti-derby or skating backwards, I find a pusher wheel setup throws my balance, which isn't fun. So I like just to choose wheels that work for me, full straight setup, use that, but everyone's different. You'll see there's loads of different types of ways of setting up your wheels. So for a pusher setup, it is exactly what it says in the tin. You want to add softer wheels to your pushing edges to get you around the track. Those are your pusher wheels. So you'll have 4 harder wheels and 4 softer wheels. Now the setup I'm using is going to be, softer wheels are white, and these are Rollerbones 86s. These were Zebras. I think they're 86. Been a while. And I borrowed some Rollerbones 92s. So quite a big difference in those. So the higher the number, the harder the wheel. Slippier it is. Lower the number, softer the wheel, stickier it is. So low number for pusher setup. You probably don't want a massive number difference between these, so it's sort of 86 and 92 might be a little bit of a big difference, might not. It should work, should be fine. I wouldn't put a 78 and 96 setup on. I think that might cause absolute chaos, or maybe it would work wonderfully. You can try it and let me know. So where am I going to put these different wheels? Right, I want my softer wheels to be on my pushing edges. We think we're going in derby direction, we're turning left. That means we want the softer wheels on our left hand side of our skate, so it'll be the same on both. So softer ones are the white ones, harder ones are the blue ones. So this is skate. And on back to front, which probably isn't going to help you, but this is my softer edge. So this is the edge I'm going to push into. So I've got my softer wheels on it. This is my harder edge. This is the edge that's lifting up and going away. Maybe if I turn it that way. So you'll see I've got a straight up split on it off left hand side of my skate. Doesn't look like the left hand side is the pusher wheels, and the right hand side of my skate is the harder wheels. And if I do that to both sides, it means I can push in to the soft wheel, and the hard wheel just rolls and does its job. So very quickly going to set it up on my other skate. This is my right hand skate. So for the right hand side, I am going to put my harder wheels here onto the right hand side of the plate, which is the outside, my right hand side. So I should end up with the same setup on both sides. So it'll look nice and even. So got my wheel. Like Rollerbones, because you can just pop out those bearings. You don't need a bearing puller to do the job. Nice and easy. Popping them in onto the axles, wee buns, and just going to screw it down. So I'm going to pause the camera for a moment try and restart it again and show you what that looks like on. So I'm going to pop them onto my feet. So 2 takes. So here we go. I've got my setup all done. Still sitting on the floor, and if you have a look, you will see where everything has gone. So remember, this is my right hand side and this is my left hand side. Harder wheels on the right of the skate as I look down on it, softer wheels on the left hand side of the skate as I look down on it. That should keep you right. Okay, so standing up, both skates on, both skates have the pusher set up on them. So right leg, right hand side of each plate is the harder wheels, left hand side of each plate is the softer wheels as I look down on them. So maybe make more sense to you from that side. You'll see harder to the right hand side of both, softer to the left hand side of both. So that's so that I've got my pusher edges set up. So what are edges? Really quickly, lean on the outside of your skate, there's your outside edges. Inside the skate, there's your inside edges. If we're going derby direction around the corner, I'm putting my weight into my left hip and using the pushing edges. Or if I want to go the other way, I'm putting the weight into my right hip and I'm using those right hand edges on both sides. So same again, derby direction, I'm leaning in to the softer wheels there. I'm leaning into those pusher sides. And this will help me when I'm coming to do my crossovers, because my crossover is going to be pushing with that soft wheel, lifting my leg over and pushing again with the soft wheel on this side to take me across. That's going to get me round those corners and keep me going. So when you're doing a grapevine off skates, practicing your edges, you will see where you're leaning into. Problem is, if you start to go anti-derby, you want to skate the other way for funsies, and you're going across, you're putting your weight in to the other side, you're actually going onto the harder wheels and you're losing the whole point of having a pusher set up. So that's why it doesn't work for me, but still fun. Give it a go. I almost guarantee if you're slipping out in corners, if you're really struggling with your crossovers, that doing this pusher setup is going to be an easy way to help yourself out. Borrow wheels, get yourself a set if you really want to, and try it. So any questions, let me know. Any comments, let me know that too. Otherwise, I will see you on track.